Okay, I also mentioned about my shoes. I don't know if you see, I have yellow shoes. This is from when we software we develop since computers are available. I remember as a young boy when my father, we had a little house that was in the front, the garage, and in the back was a room. It was our hobby room where we could, as children, play with our toys. And then when my father came home in the evening, all this garage opens, he came in and then he had some boxes in his arms. And, oh, what's that? And then this was a Commodore C64 computer. And this was for us the first experience. I remember we suddenly unpacked and connected everything, and there was the disk, and then you can write this basic something, write or whatever the thing was, hello, and then the thing started to rotate and write hello, and then take the disk out, put it back in, and then load, and then it wrote hello on the monitor. Yeah, and instead software, or this thing, my father trained himself in basic software language, and he developed by himself the first NC programming management software for his own workshop. So NC program number 2, this was his first program he made. Then we had a student to develop that, and then we came from that to our first software which we sold with our presellers. And those software came out, and it was called ToolBrain. And then ToolBrain, after those becomes Windows, it became Tool Manager, and in 2011, or in the financial crisis, 2009 in January, I think Germany, we were sitting there, no orders, nearly no orders in January 2009, and we built our new building in Blenheim, and we were there checking what's coming. And then we said, okay, what do we do? And then we said, what do we have available? And then we knew we have a software or tool manager, but we have not sold so much, because our salespeople often gave it as a present. And then we said, okay, nobody buys our presellers at the moment, so we take our developers from our software to develop our tool management further. And then we made out of the tool manager the TMS, Tool Management Solution software, with added more functions. And then we introduced that software in the EMO show 2011 in Germany. And then we had a marketing concept that our customers can, with that software, come faster to the goal. Yeah, goal is come programming, tool data management, then stock presetting, and it was the track and fields from the athletics, and with the hurdles, and then we had the shoes. So we had the EMO 2011, we had shoes, and still I have the same shoes in Zoller, the most run shoes on shows all over the world. It's already run down. We have many salespeople, they got already 4 pair in the same time, and they have visited less shows than me. So I take care always very special of my things, say with laptop or handy. I can run these things for many years, no trouble. Some people, they have constantly trouble. Mr. Zoller, my handy is broken, what do we do? My handy never broken. That's yours. So anyway, that's the situation. And we talk about PowerShrink. So that's for us, the Zoller PowerShrink technology is certainly it's a complete new product for Zoller, but not complete new. As an introduction, I want to mention in 1999, 2000, we had in America an inquiry from Chrysler. At that time, Daimler in Germany and Chrysler just started to merge together. And the engineer from Chrysler, he contacted me and said, Mr. Zoller, we need a tool presetter to preset a shrink tool to a longer dimension. I said, what is a shrink tool? I don't know what this is. So I will come and explain you. And then we came with a tool holder. It said shrink fit on it. And this technology was developed, invented by an engineer from California. They had a patent for that. And he explained to me, you heat it up, and then you put in the tool, and then you cool it down. I said, wow. And what's the benefit? I mean, the benefit was clear for these auto companies, because when we sold at that time a tool reseller to Ford Motor Company or Volkswagen, one tool reseller, sometimes 20 adapters, 25, 30 adapters, because they had all these straight chain holders from Scully Jones, TM Smith, and others to place the cutting tool and from the backside to adjust to the nominal dimension. Many adapters, unbelievable. And then they said, for the high precision application, they use the hydraulic chucks and it's very expensive. And this one costs much less, so they think this is the future technology. So I made a report, at that time there was email not so common, I made a report, made a fax, still also not anymore available. I sent to my father, said there's something new, we need to look at it. It was in 2000, and then we evaluated it and there was nothing available. So we started to develop our heat shrink system and we started to develop a tool presetter, how we could do that presetting application. It was quite a thing. And in 2001 at the IMO show, we showed the first concept. And then a smile presetter with a heat shrink coil, which we developed by ourselves. And then many companies came on our booth and said, Mr. Zoller, what you are doing here? I said, we preset heat shrink tools. And also Mr. Heimer came, Mr. Franz Heimer, came to my father and said, Mr. Zoller, what you are doing here? I said, we developed here this heat shrink system. He said, you don't need to develop it, I have a finished one, you can use mine. And my father, after the show in 2001, went to Heimer, talked to them and said, okay, you have a finished system, we will buy it from you and install in our machine, then we don't need to spend any penny for the development. We stopped our own development and used the Heimer product. And then we worked together for a long time very well, and then I don't say use, but I have to say it, they bought this tool presetter product from DMG, and then they got our competitor, and then the situation got for us a little bit not so good, and so we decided in 2017 we need to develop this heat shrink technology by ourselves. Because this machine, Regomatic, which we introduced them in 2002 to the market, we already have installed today over 1,300 times, 1,400 times in the market. It was a very good product and many companies use it, and we needed the security that we can provide here this technology also in the future. So for this we spent a lot of effort and engineering to develop here our technology, and we think we have done a great job for that because we are a technology company. We have over 120 engineers in the area of mechanical design, electronics, software development, and so we spend in all areas the effort to develop this technology. And you already know, so we have here our PowerShrink series available. You see here the PowerShrink 400, and we have designed this system for, first of all, for a unique operation, like how to use the machine, how to work with the machine. And then certainly this machine is made 100% by Zoller in our company in Lenzheim. And we spent here a lot of effort. For example, the energy is certainly a big subject recently. Without that we really knew it, but with our design and new invention from the electronics, after we have finished it, some engineer came and came with us that even that he was not asked to do it, but he did it anyways. He showed the energy consumption of this system, because before came shrink and tool, energy. But then we really evaluated and compared other systems, and we found out our system had nearly 30% energy savings compared to other systems in the market. It's really a big thing, because for us, we designed the electronic always effectively, so our efficiency coefficient is close to 1. Then we have our electronics, which we use in our tool presetters. We also use in our PowerShrink for the operation. So there we could use standard parts, and the result is our PowerShrink series 400, which you see here, in our PowerShrink 600. Difference I will explain further in detail. First of all, certainly the length of tools to be shrink. You see a 400 millimeter, a little bit more, 460, and then the other one is 600. We have our coil system available with automatic setup, and here this is what I would like to show next, is the energy consumption. So we have here compared to other systems about 30% savings because of the efficiency coefficient which we could achieve. Yeah, then we have a workflow available with our light control, and this is something which I would like to use to show you here in person. I need to be careful that I don't get covered here for the sound. So here there are steps how to process and use this machine. So here our PowerShrink 400, I think it's a really excellent machine. You have here on the side the monitor with our pilot software, where all the tool information is listed. The nice part about this is that we can connect this to our TMS software. So if an engineer makes tool management and he set up a cutting tool in our TMS software, he can specify the lengths, he can specify what holder he's using, and all this information we did already once. And what we see often at our customers is that the processing of the heat shrink is done sometimes with the wrong parameters. Then tools are overheated. So the tool you can basically put in the trash bin because you cannot use it anymore. So here our system can be directly connected to our tool management, and then for our process control, I know this is always certainly in a company a decision which has to be made, but many of you or most of you know the valve tool ID system, which is often bought with new machines because of process security. So what does a valve chip do? The valve chip is installed in the tool holder and it carries the tool data related to that tool. And on our presetter, I don't know how many valve systems we already sold. It's maybe already 5,000 or more. Mostly what we see is the customer or the operator, okay, push the button, read the chip, measure the tool, write to the chip, finish, go to the machine and use it. Done with it. What happens with the data used in that field? Not much, because history data, remaining tool life, to use the data which is generated is not often done. I would say 97% of all cases, nothing is done with the data. And then we have customers also, they buy a Hermes machine with tool ID. Then we use Hermes, but for some reason they go and buy maybe a probe machine with tool ID, or they buy a Heller machine, or they buy a DMG machine. And then all these companies, even when they use a valve system, they have a different string, a different format which is written on the chip. Then the operator here, he is the, I don't want to say the bad guy, but he is the one who has to handle all this situation, and then he gets his tool, so what data is on it, we don't know, and then he has to select in our software, is it a DMG string or a probe string? We have several customers, they use 3-4 strings, and it's quite a thing to manage that. And then, in addition, the new machine controls come out and need suddenly much more data. Then the chip, as you maybe heard, there's a valve BISC system available. It can store a certain number of data. Because this was not enough, they came out with the M version, and the M version can store more. And then suddenly there were companies out, they had a C style and an M style, and then you had to manage on the presetter 2 different readers. This is M, this is C. From just looking at it, you cannot identify it. We together with valves, because this mainly hits the presetter area, we said this is impossible, because we had several complaints from customers, how you want to operate a preset like this. And then this valve together, or they mainly certainly developed the VISV, Victor system, and this combines the C and the M system, and this is the technology sold today. But now we have the ZOLLER ID chip, and the benefit what we see in our technology is that we have here used the same chip hole, and we identify the tool with a QR code. And there's only a unique number on it and no data. The data is all in the network. The data comes all over the network, and with this we are independent how many data we should use. And also for many of our customers who have not so a big organization in a second shift or third shift, they have the benefit that with the ID chip they can preset the tool, and save the data in the database and put the tool in a, for example, ZOLLER keyboard or in a tool card. And in the night, operators, the presetter is not used because the operator does only day shift. In the night, the people come and need to use the tools, but then they use it maybe on a EMG machine or hardware machine or a home machine, and then it's our system. They can use any tool and use it in the machine which they need it, because we translate the data into the right format only at the time the tool is actually used. For this we use our ZOLLER UK technology. And with this ID chip setup, we have really, it's a new technology, but we have here quite a good run at the moment and a good inquiry. We have now available, we call it ZDMI, ZOLLER Direct Machine Interface. We have developed here an interface for Heidenheim controls, for Siemens controls. We are working with Okuma, with Matsuba, with Makino, Fanuc. In the, I would say, the next 6 to 8 months, we can complete with all of those a direct interface. What does direct interface mean? If you go to the machine and you scan that QR code, then the tool data is directly entered into the machine control, the same as if you would use a valve system. The only benefit is that you don't have to spend so much money for it. I can tell you one use case. In Germany, we have a customer, ThyssenKrupp, the automotive company. They produce crankshafts. They have for these 22 DMG machines with Heidenheim control. And they wanted to retrofit all these 22 DMG machines with valve ID system. Then they went to DMG and asked for quotation. For 18 machines, they got a quotation. For the last 4 machines, they got no quotation because they are too old. And each machine was between 30 to 35,000 euros to retrofit the machine with valve. And from us, they also got a quotation to retrofit a ZOLLER presetter with valve for 12 to 15,000 euros. And they said, it's impossible. You can spend so much money for that, you cannot justify it. And we said, why don't we use our ZOLLER 4.0 technology with ID chip? And I said, what is this? And then we sold them for each machine a ZOLLER 4.0 unit, which looks like this monitor. And in addition, the software for the direct interface for less than 2,000 euros per machine. And today, all the 22 machines are retrofitted with a ZOLLER unit and with this ID chip. So they preset the tool, go to the machine, scan it, and the data is available and usable. They have quite complex setup because they produce the molds for the crankshaft. So when the mold is used up, they have to rebuild the mold. So they have many sister tools. So we have complete sister tool management available with it. And this all is our ID chip technology. So this was now a different subject, but only to explain what we have here. So when we come now in the process that this tool has to be assembled, we have here these pods at our PowerShrink where we have adapter plates. So depending on which tooling system you are using, we have here adapter plates for taper, HSK style tool holders. And then on our PowerShrink machine, we have here HSK 63 tool, so we can place the tool holder here with the ID chip. And we have here our pilot software, which again you can enter the data manually here, or you can use the TMS software to connect it. And then we have here the option for scanning. So the operator comes here and now he has to set up this holder, so he can, with this touch screen, say scan. Then we have here connected a scanner, so then the user just have to scan this number. And then we have here our barcode coil, which automatically adjusts to the right diameter. So now the coil and the electronic is configured with the right parameters, the right configuration that this tool is not overheated. Then we have here optional 2 handles on our induction coil, and this induction coil is guided on a THK slide. So it's the same like on our tool presetter. So the axis arrangement is a little bit different because here we have big optic carriers, we have here 3 guideways, here we can use it with 1, but it's a The tower is basically a tower similar to our tool presetters and with a TH guide, so we can often and very easily move the coil up and down, because we know from our past usage from our OEM product that this can be often then a service issue. So now the user just moves the induction coil over the tool holder and confirm here that the position is reached. And now we have here the option to start the shrink process by either pushing the button directly here over the handle, or you can already start just push here on the touch screen, and then the right energy is entered. We have here also a gas suction device, and then we can move the coil up, take the cutting tool and enter it in the tool holder. So here I have no length setting device. For our shrink by light system, you see here an indication, or you maybe recognized it. We have here two coils which are activated, and the light will indicate which one is used. We have here a light control for the position, and then also we have a light control and a cooling adapter, so we can move this over, and then we have to use that cooling adapter and pull it over the tool holder. Because it's hot, it's wet, and now it's a process controlled that this tool holder will be correctly cooled down. You will see after a certain time that the color will change, then the user can take the tool holder and process further. So now we have here more pots. The operator can already use the next tool. We have here the option that we, depending on the diameter which are used, we can set up the cooling adapters according to the diameters which are actually in use. So we could have, for example, always 10 and 12 or 14, 16, so you can cool tools also parallel. Yeah, our induction coil is really a technical invention. We have here, as I already indicated, two coils which are controlled by our electronic, and depending on the length, we can bring the heat correctly into the tool holder and save with this also this 30% energy. And now you see here the cooling time is over and it's green, so we can take the tool and go to the tool presetter as next. And then at the tool presetter, you can also scan the QR code. We have also at the tool presetter an automatic scanner, and then the same tool data is loaded and the tool is measured. And then you put it in your cart, you go to your machine, and at the machine you have again a scanner, you scan, and the tool data is in the machine, and no manual typing, all digitized process. And with that system, we also record in the machine how long was the tool in use. So when you get the tool out, you can take your mobile, scan the QR code, you know how long the tool was in use. And that's for a fraction of the cost for bulk tool lighting system, for example. So this is for us one technology, and certainly for heat shrink tools, but this chip you can not only install in heat shrink tools, you can install in any type of tooling system you are using, but certainly for heat shrink tools we recommend our PowerShrink machine. And then certainly, as you can already imagine, price-wise, is this certainly a premium class, but we are aiming customers who are already using heat shrink system. We are seldom going to customers who are, because we are not a tooling company. Sometimes the tooling companies go to a customer and say, use my heat shrink system because it saves you so much cost in cutting tools and performance increase. This is not so much our area. We are a machine builder. So if a company already decided for heat shrink and they use a system, and often these systems are not so nicely to be used, at least my impression. For this we built here next level machine so that an operator can really work very ergonomically with this machine. We have a nice working height, so very ergonomic for the operation. In the cabinet we have here the cooler, so it's not standing somewhere or set in dust. It's here nicely installed, and also here on the side, this machine doesn't have it, but here is in general the gas suction device installed, so we can eliminate the fumes which are generated, are already sucked right here it's generated next to the coil. So for this, the PowerShrink 400 has here quite good options. Instead of the cooling adapters, we also have an air cooling system available. Cooling adapters are good for standard tools. If you use heat shrink tools with different angles, different lengths, then you will need adapters. That makes it sometimes a little bit more complex. So for this, we also have an air cooling system which cools independent from the floor. Yeah, PowerShrink machine is the ZOLLER induction coil, and then our Renomatic 400 machine here certainly use same technology also with our induction coil system. And for this, certainly we have mainly developed it because we have many more Renomatic machines in the market as in the past supplied Renomatic PowerShrink machines. Yeah, in our presentation I showed you this process here, and already explained a few parts. Important is certainly also our machine is TÜV and UL/CSA approved. So we spent a lot of effort to get this system certified, and you can say, okay, it's normal, but it's not normal. You will find no other heat shrink system in the market who has this certification available. So this, especially in big companies, very important for us. In the past, we often had to go through a separate certification. Now it's our own technology, we have this as standard available. There are features which I already explained to you on the actual machine. With the available options which we have here at our PowerShrink 400 machine available. So now, PowerShrink 600, what is the difference? First of all, the tower is higher, so we can shrink tools which are also a little bit more than 600 millimeter. These are very rarely happening, but it can happen. In addition, the machine is a little bit bigger. So we can have here, you see the cooling bell arrangement, they are right next to each other. They can be on a linear guideway, so you don't do it by hand like this freely. It's linear guided to go directly over the coil. So for companies who are shrinking even more tools, is this a very good option to shrink tools and cool tools more effectively. So this the cabinet has some more environment, some more storage place. The scanner I already explained, and the boards. So the coil technology I explained already. So we have here a top plate, a ring, and then the coil itself is two induction coils which are connected together and controlled separately by our electronic system. And we have also designed the system that the airflow and the cooling from the coil is happening very effectively. Because of what? We have many customers, they use this constantly. So if you constantly shrink one tool after the other, this system will heat up. If it gets to a certain temperature, it will shut down. So here we have developed our system that it will hold the temperature about after 60 tools which are constantly shrink. It will reach a temperature which will not further increase. And with this, you are able to really use the machine continuously. We have installed this system also in our, which I showed you this afternoon, our automation system, our RoboBox, and there we do mass shrinking. Basically, the robot will bring the tool always and do one process after the other. We had a test run for nearly 7 days, continuously working, no problem. So this is really also due to the special design of the housing of our induction coil. Then we have two options in general. So we have our screening system. So we can have individual screening plate, I say stop disc available. Also here is a light control that the right stop disc is installed, and they are available in 5 different diameters. And then we have what you see here, our Warrant coil, where this green light is indicating the diameter which has to be shrunk. And with our system here, we have the option that it can be manually or motorized. Motorized option or CNC control is certainly the better option because an operator doesn't make a mistake. We have here 8 ferrite elements to shield the heat, and with this we have a better coverage from the area, so the heat will stay better in the area where it has to be, so for this we are also more effective. Then for the cooling, I already explained the cooling belts which we have here available is the light control and the guidance system. So we have light control and certainly the standard cooling belt without light control. We have the different colors which we are showing here. I already explained green is ready for cooling, green blinking, this is the one you should use, red it's hot and blue is cooling. Then the option, as you see here, manual movement, or the other option what we cannot show here is linear, so it's on a rail to move the cooling belt up and down, which is for, especially for many tools, to be shrink an effective way. And then the air cooling system, which we have available, which does form independent cool. The adapter also with light control, which indicates if the tool is hot or if it's cooled down. Then our pilot software already explained. We have here the different options available that we can select by the type. So type means we have here different angles of the chucks which you can choose. For the standard one, then you just choose your diameter, and also for the other angles, there are sometimes for the diameter reduced number of coils available. We also have for the extensions. So behind each of these images, then also the right heating parameter available, which has to be used for the shrink process. Then also direct selection, what does this mean? So you can go directly and say, okay, I have a 4 mm slim, and then choose that one and use this for the heat shrink process. This is more or less seldom used. Most recommended is the scanning function. What does the scanning function do also? It actually counts how often you actually use this chuck. So every time it goes through here, it will count, and it will give the operator also an indication if the tool was, for example, used 2,000 times, and then maybe has to be replaced with a new one. This is our software which we control here, and then some graphical indication, and the monitor is right here, so the operator can look here directly in it, and it's not in the base of the machine where maybe also an accident can happen. So accessories, I already explained, we have so many different options available, shelves, nice accessories to give a good workflow for the operator. And this integrated in the work process for preparing the cutting tools. This is already explained. Okay, so this is ZOLLER PowerShrink technology. It's not really a world new invention because the technology is already there. And but for us, it was really a big investment in the labor time for the development and the ideas what we put in, and really an excellent result for us. And for us, certainly the most important is here the induction point, which we can use on our automatic machine, and have here really a good setup available. So now for the next ZOLLER product is our tool balancer. And for the tool balancer, unfortunately, we don't have one here in our works, here in the showroom, but I explained is the presentation. Tool balancing, why to use a tool balancer? I think everybody knows from the car, if you change your wheels and your wheels are not balanced, you will feel it in the car. And the same is also available in a CNC machine. And so for this, with balanced tools, you can increase the tool life. First of all, you can increase the surface finish of your parts, and you can save the spindle bearings of your CNC machine. So for this, tool balancing is a requirement in the production area, and certainly for tool makers, grinding wheels have to be balanced. Like today, I think you can, if you buy an automatic grinding machine, grinding wheels have to be balanced. They not allow even to use unbalanced grinding wheels because of the surface finish to be achieved. And for this, we have developed also now our tool balancer, where we have certainly produced 100% by Zoller in our company in Germany. And we spend also here a lot of effort for giving a complete new concept on how a tool balancer has to be used. So there are several different things to be considered. You see here there's certainly a safety hood, and the safety hood has a double glass. Because if you really look at it, and our machines here are also TÜV certified, if you place a cutting tool in the tool balancer and it spins and there's some coolant fluid on it and it goes against the plexiglass, the chemical condition which can happen there can cause that this glass is not longer approved for certification to secure that if a tool gets loose, that it not breaks. So this is a setup which often is not considered, and we have developed here a double plane, we call it like an inside shielding system, which we can easily replace in case of alter. So after maintenance in a few years, this double pane, the double glass can be easily replaced in our tool balancer. Good working environment, and then we have two options. We have our tool balancer 550 and 750. This has to do with the length of the tools. And then you see we have it either with a monitor directly connected or with a cockpit similar to our tool pixels. The setup is for the weight of the tools up to 30 kilogram. We can rotate the tool up to 1,200 rounds per minute, and the accuracy is better than 0.4 gram millimeter. Here the difference is here the different lengths of the tools, which can be held in the tool balancer 750. Process flow is certainly that in general we have a membrane keyboard in the front where you can activate all functions to clamp the tool and release the tool, and then start the measuring run. First one, take out, rotate 180 degrees for compensation, run the second run, and then you get an indication what is the unbalance, and then depending on how you compensate the unbalance, you can either add weight, you can take off weight by drilling, by milling in axial or radial direction, and in our software this information is provided, and then you, after the unbalance is compensated, you do another run and get the final result. Now the technology behind it, also these machines are TÜV and UL-CSA tested. Again, you will find no other balancer who has this certification. It's really something to think about, but no other supplier has spent the effort in the past to get here the TÜV certification. In our company, all products are TÜV and UL-CSA certified. We spend a lot of effort in it to meet the requirements, but it has really a big benefit because the regulations in big companies are more and more strict, and also even in small companies, we know it in Germany, the rules which are available for work safety, work environment protection, it's really a lot, and if you meet these requirements, it's quite a work process involved. Then we have the work area is a bigger, especially because our door opens to the side and not to the top. Our solid base, we have a nice storage compartment for the adapters right in the front, you don't need to bend down. We have the control panel on the side, so in case of maintenance, the operator has easy access to it, don't have to go to the back side. We have high precision spindle, we have the ZOLLER software with a touchscreen monitor, and adapter storage compartment and one keyboard in the front. For the ergonomics, we have also a light inside for the work setup. We have cables repeats itself for the adapter, and then also fork access. What does this mean? Our tool balancer can easily move with a pallet jack in your workshop. You don't need a crane or lifting device for cockpit. Our cockpit certainly, as you see, easy to operate, nice to stand in front of it. Yeah, the right keyboard with the different functions, good setup, and especially for long life, if you have oily fingers, it will last a very long time. Why we achieve a higher accuracy is because, especially for small tools, to measure the unbalance is it's really the accuracy you require there is sometimes below 1 micron. You have to identify a deviation of the mass. And for small tools it gets more and more difficult. So for what we have developed is that we actually move the tool out of center. So we give a dedicated unbalance already with our adapter. So for this, the signal is in general higher, so we can easily find out for small and light-weighted tools the unbalance. We have proven this in several applications, especially in the electronics industry, where HSK32, HSK25 tools are used. Is this setup really excellent? So with this condition, is the off-center position of the tool hole in the adapter, is the higher signal which we can achieve, is that we can measure the unbalance, and the big benefit is especially for small and light-weighted tools. And then we have the adapters for taper, for HSK, for Capto, polygonal shank, and certainly also special adapters for straight shank, inside clamping, outside clamping available. And there are some features for it, how the adapter are designed for the maximum repeatability. Then certainly our software gives all functions which are required for the balancing, so for dynamic balancing and for static balancing, and there are many different options available to perform the balancing application. We have accessories for printer, for scanner, so also with an ID chip you scan and the right program is selected and you can start the balancing process. Yeah. So to just show such a product in a presentation, it's a little bit boring, but there was no other option, so I went through quickly. In the future we will have here also a tool balancer available, and we can give you a live presentation, or we can also give in our Smart Factory a live presentation. Always these new products, we have for PowerShrink and ToolBalancer, we have a good amount of orders. And we started these new products in a time, Corona, you also heard of it, is the material or supply chain issues. And here for our existing product, we could manage this quite well. But for the new products, we had actually in the last years to get the electronic components newly developed and also supplied quite a challenge to overcome. And for this, we are, with the orders we have, we are really under pressure to complete here all the projects we have. So for this reason, we unfortunately couldn't provide a tool balancer here for this open house, but we have it available in Germany and also soon here in ZOLLER UK. So, if there are questions available for these products or for our company presentation, I earlier did, you are very welcome to ask any question you might have, or things you may want to have more in detail explained again. Yes?
You showed us the answer to different types of adapters.
Yes.
How easy is it to swap over those adapters? You've got calculators,
Yeah. The ease of adapter change is certainly not comparable to our resetter, where you just take the adapter out and you basically put a new adapter in, and it's finished. This is unfortunately at the balancer not the case. So the balancing adapter, first of all, since in the spindle you need 2 handles to screw in and then open 4 screws, take it out. Then in our setup we have here, I can quickly go there. So when you look here at this picture, then in front of all you have this shelf where you can install adapters up to 3, and then we have inside in the machine 2 holes where you can store also an adapter. So when you open the adapter, you take it out and you can locate it there, take the next adapter and put it inside. The work, unfortunately, because of the speed of the spindle and the safety which is required, it requires to screw it in the spindle. You cannot do it without screwing. So there's no quick connection like in our tool resetter, because here the spindle just rotates. So the advantage you have, however, with our spindle is that in case your operator forgets to screw it down and you push the clamp button, the adapter will not shoot out of the spindle. Because this can happen in other systems. In ours, we have their safety. We will only lift them up and will not shoot them out like a rocket. Yeah, for work processing, at the changeover time, we have some videos which I made. It will take you maybe maximum open the screws, take it out in 120 seconds. You have changeover the adapter.
Does anyone have any more questions? See a few people jotting a few things down. Any more? For any more? Everyone's hungry, aren't they? Okay, thank you, Christoph. I think that draws a nice conclusion to this morning's talks. We're a little bit ahead of schedule, so food will be served upstairs on the mezzanine. We just ask you to make your way up and form an orderly queue. Help yourself to as much as possible. There is some courtesy pigs up there, I've been told. So grab a handful of those. And then please do hang around for this afternoon's talk. It's the final talk of the day, and it's all around automation and promises to be one not to be missed before we will conclude the day around about 1:30, give or take. And then our ZOLLER team will be on hand to do any live demonstrations for you guys. I know a few people have brought some tools, which is fantastic, and we'll be here until the last person leaves. Massive thank you to Christoph for this morning's talks. I'm sure you'll agree they've been fantastic.